Yo, so in this video, I want to talk about how being non-attached to your identity can help you just accomplish a lot more. And this is kind of like this beyond the typical spiritual thing of like we are all connected, we are nothing and everything at the same time. It comes from there, but it goes a step beyond that where it's actually something that's more practical. So when you are an individual who's tied to your identity, something like I am a coder or I am a psychologist or I am etc. When you are attached to that identity, it limits you. It automatically limits you because you are confining yourself to this specific role. Um, and so it doesn't allow you to really evolve beyond that role, and more importantly, to integrate that role with other roles. So like when you see yourself as a coder, very well defined, you're not going to see yourself as if you're speaking language or as if you're speaking or as if you are something beyond a label. So maybe there's a lot of beautiful things about coding that I'm learning. It's like you're also an artist, you're also a creator, you're also a mathematician, you're also a problem solver. So thinking about all these different things aren't usually like they aren't really obvious at the beginning, uh, and so because of that, it might be that because you're so attached to your identity, you close yourself off from these other opportunities that can also serve as that can also come about by entering into this specific role. And I really think about this in terms of also how everything that's going on with AI right now, which is a lot of coders are saying, "Oh, this isn't really good stuff." Like vibe coding is shit. We're better, basically, and that's also coming from a place of fear because they don't want to accept the fact that this technology works and that they should start to integrate it. And the reason that they don't accept it is because they're so attached to this idea of what it means to be a coder. Like AI is going to come in and it's going to redefine what it means to be that. It was going to redefine what it means to be a programmer. And people are usually afraid of that redefinition. And then you have people on the other side who think that that coding that they don't need to code, they don't need to learn how to code. They can just use AI, and that's also coming from another misunderstanding, which is on the opposite side of the spectrum, which is they don't want to take on an identity. They don't want to take on the identity of being a coder or anything. They'd rather, and it also falls into this idea of I am a vibe coder. I don't need to do this, and so that limits them also because they don't learn. They don't learn the technology. They don't get interested, and so the balance is in between. It's about having a role, but also being open to not having that role define you. It's about being tuned in to the evolution of the role itself, which is in line with the evolution of who you are. So things are constantly changing. This world is constantly evolving, and to think that your role is defined and that is what you are, and that what you have been for the past 10 years is going to be the same thing you're going to be in the next 10 years is just preposterous. It's not tied to the evolution of mankind and the evolution of just time and just evolution of evolution. um, it's not in line with that. So the reason I'm making this video is because I'm seeing that it's been my ability to stay fluid and not stay confined to a specific role that has allowed for the maximum enjoyment of life. And that's where I'm mainly coming from. I enjoy my life, and if people were to ask me what I do, I I would say it depends. It depends on what we're talking about here. What is it that I can do for you is the question, right? It's like it's not. I don't answer it by saying, "Oh, I'm an entrepreneur" or "I'm a dancer," because I can do many things. Like there's so many interests that I have and so many skills that I have, and I've managed to be able to find a way that I can I can switch between them very easily, and I can actually integrate them. Um, and so that's the benefit of this mindset, right? It becomes practical in the sense that because I'm not so attached to this identity, it allows me to move freely, and so I am free of the constraints of being a beginner and also being an expert. Because when you're an expert, you are an old dog that can't learn new tricks. That's kind of like the mindset that people take on. Like I'm already good at this. This is what I'm good. I'm gonna stay there. I'm not gonna venture out. And then, but if you're a beginner, also you have this mindset of, oh, I'm a beginner. I know nothing, and both are wrong because if you are experienced, then you should be able to have to evolve from there. I feel like people should evolve from experience. And if you feel like you don't have much to learn, then you're already in the wrong place. And then on the other side, it's a similar experience where, but just a little bit reverse, where you have everything to learn, but you know nothing. And and so it puts you in this psychological state of, oh, I need more time. I need to work harder. I need to do. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. And so um, one man is saying, I've already been there, not going anywhere else. While another man is saying, I'm not there yet, so he's never starting. And that's the issue where it's like a lot of the human mind. That's it's not practical in the sense that we want to get shit done, and both mindsets are not conducive to that. So um, this goes for many different fields. I'm bringing this up because I've been contemplating AI a lot. I've been able to accomplish things that people that things that people like. I want something to be very clear, which is most of the time the issue is not the action itself; it's the emotion behind the action. So if you want to accomplish a goal, I want to create a website or I want to build an app, for example. That's been something that I've been working on. The main drawback, the main thing that has stopped me has been the emotion of me thinking that I can't do it. It's like overwhelmment versus when I compare that to this idea that, oh, I just want to build an app. Like I just want to build an app, and 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 I approach it from curiosity and also just from like, not in terms of what the experts tell me, right? Because the experts are going to tell you, well, if you want to build an app, you have to go to school, you have to do this, this, and that. I'm not going to think in terms of that because if I do that, then I'm never ready. But then I'm also not going to think about it from the beginner's mindset, which is like, oh, you have so much to learn. You gotta do this, this, and that. I know nothing. I'm not going to think about it that way. I'm going to think of it in terms of like, oh, I know that I have things, I have skills, I have experience, problem solving. I have things that are in alignment with what building an app requires, right? I might not have built the specific app, but I do have skills that are parallel to that. And so all I have to figure out is where I'm already set as a programmer, and what maybe there's other things that I need to learn. And so this falls in line with a lot. Falls in line with learning. If you want to learn quickly, you approach it with this innocent mindset of, I know nothing, but I don't need to know anything. I don't need to know everything. It's like I know nothing, but I also know everything. Um, and it's a paradox, but the mindset is basically sitting and being in the material while it's being presented to you, and continuing to think that it's gonna work and that you're progressing, and so seeing the process, defining progress by the process rather than defining progress by what the beginner or the expert would say, because in between them is just the process. There's a beginning and then there's the end. But in between them, there will always be a process. And in truth, there has always been a process. There like there is no beginning or end. That's the truth. And so, um, stay in line with the process. And what does that look like? It looks like asking questions. It looks like being curious. It looks like not defining your path based on anybody else's path, and knowing that you are building your path on the way, um, and also knowing that you have walked the path before and you're still walking it now, and so you're not doing anything new. You're just being yourself more. And I think that's the connection here, where then the intuition comes in, and it tells you, do this, do that, do this, and this is a superpower that people don't have, that people have like access to, but it takes work to get there, which is knowing how to use your intuition to guide you in terms of what you know, because that's what I use it for now. My intuition tells me what I need to know, what I'm learning, what I need to learn, where I need help in, and it's not a path that is direct to it's not a step-by-step path. It's just telling you this is what you need to focus on. Do this, do that, go there, talk to this person, and then eventually I get the knowledge and I get the experience that I need. So this is bypassing everything that we know. Like, this is bypassing everything that that has been told to us, which has been that you need experience to learn, you need experience to get a job, um, you need to put in work, you need to talk to the experts so they can tell you what you need to do, and you can get set on the path, on the correct path. There is no path, right? There is no path in the sense that it's defined, and it's the path that you need to walk. The only path that you need to walk is the one that you're making right now, that is being sent to you through your intuition on the day to day, through interactions, and it's constantly evolving, and it's constantly tuned into who you are at the core, at the most authentic level. So, um, going back to the initial, the initial point, which was um, identity, like, not having an identity will allow you to evolve. That has been due to the fact that intuition cannot come in. You cannot access your intuition if you keep defining yourself by your experiences. Because intuition by default is not something that can be defined. It exists beyond experiences and before experiences. Um, Intuition comes in, and it captures, and it brings to you insight that you could not have gotten through memory or through experience, etc. It was just given to you. So um, yeah, I mean, that's also where I'm talking about, like, the flow state. The flow state allows you to channel that, and there's a lot of other things. But I think this is what I wanted to bring to you, which was just this idea that the less attached you are to that which you're doing, the more availability you have to access realms that you have not had access to. And it's like the universe is constantly guiding you, the universe is constantly with you, and it will bring to you the resources that you need and the lessons that you need. Um, and it's not going to be presented in a clean way, in a clean, structured way, but you have to be okay with that. And a lot of people are not okay with that. That's why there's so much. That's why this whole video. That's what this video is about. Is that a lot of people are not okay with the non-structured path, because they always want to be given the A to B. They want to know the beginning and the end. And what I'm saying is, don't get stuck into A to B. Find the space in between, and you're going to be able to always accomplish what you want to accomplish, regardless of whether it's something new or it's something old, or it's uncertain, etc. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. I'll see you in the next one. Stay lucid.